really excited to be here with the amazing Jenny Wood in her home studio, and what a pleasure and privilege it is for us to get to sit down and talk about, I think, things that really matter and touch the heart of people. And I think your life kind of combines a lot of those really wonderful things with both music and really strong message for kids. So so since music is medicine, I mean, I'm essentially sitting in your clinic. So thank you, Dr. Jenny.
Thank you. It's an honor.
So I thought maybe the way to begin might be for me and for those watching too, to hear a little bit about your story, your journey, and maybe how that led you back to Wichita.
Yes. Okay. Well, when I was getting out of high school and beginning college, I knew that I wanted to sing, and I knew that I wanted to sing emotionally. Okay. And so I would take, I was also writing at the same time. So after a day, I would go home and write my thoughts and write what happened. And then those started to morph into, I would put sound to those words. And then over time, I would build little songs. I wasn't playing guitar yet. But then I met some people who were playing in a band, and they were auditioning singers. I tried out for them, and my whole life changed really after that. Everything that I got to, that I felt, I got to project with sound. Because of these three gentlemen who were wanting to play in a rock band, and really that changed my whole life. So ever since then, I mean, I was about 20, and now I'm 38, and I've stayed on that same path. I know my calling, I know my purpose. It is to connect with people through sound, through story, through emotion. And so to remain on that, no matter what has happened in my life, that is still my soul to follow that path.
Wow. Where all did the music take you?
Yes, it took me to Nashville. I lived in Nashville for most of my 20s.
Wow.
And that was really, I was embarrassed that I didn't continue with schooling for music theater, but then I learned so much in Nashville because everyone, I worked at a music venue, Dive, a restaurant, and the dishwasher was a phenomenal singer-songwriter, composed all his own music, and he's back there washing dishes, chewing gum, and he's brilliant.
Wow.
And everybody that I worked with was an incredible artist, but we were all just trying to make a dollar to be able to do what we loved. So it took me to, and I like to call that my schooling was Nashville. And then I came back home. I had two nieces and a nephew, and they were raised in a single-parent family by my brother-in-law. And I knew that I wanted to watch them grow. I would be talking to them on the phone in Nashville, and I could hear their voices change, and it just really hit me. And I knew that they were struggling without a mother, and it was time for me to come home. So. So I was really grateful for that. And then I came home and I started playing with them. I would start to sing with them. And then it started to expand, and then I'm doing childcare and I'm singing with the kids I'm babysitting. And then it just started to,
organically, your fan base is growing.
Exactly.
You're producing really great things, and you know, all those creative juices are flowing. And that's really tremendous. It's amazing that it was the heart of, you know, taking care of kids in your own, you know, family, and that love was big enough to pull you out of what otherwise sounds like a wonderland of kind of music craftsmen and artisans, you know, all living together in community. And it sounds like that didn't stop, though, your ongoing kind of musical growth and then looking for ways to touch people's lives. So when you got back to Wichita and you're connected with family and you're sharing your music in these really organic ways, how did that turn into, you know, a program and movement to also kind of combine both your gifts with reaching kids, especially with the message of kind of anti-bullying?
Yes. In working with kids, I started, at first it was just a neat experience. But then I started to notice there was something similar that the kids would talk to me about afterward. And I'm very, very grateful that the voice is a very vulnerable instrument. You can kind of hear the emotion in even when somebody's talking, you can hear where they're at. And so I was very grateful that especially young females would connect with me about singing. And they would tell me their stories, and I would get messages on social media, their stories, what they were going through. And it just kept on building from there. It went from a few kids over here to a teacher saying, hey, could you actually come and play for my kids' class? And then it went from a class to then a whole school. And from talking about what kids were most vulnerable with, and that was being intimidated, being scared. And music gave them power. Whenever the sound started to happen, the kids who got in there were really scared, and you could tell that they were kind of feeling very uncomfortable. Then the drums, and they start, okay, what's going on here? And then I start singing, and the girls who are like, then I start singing, and the girls are like, huh? And so what I'm very grateful that universal bond is what gets the message across about bullying, because I understand that. I understand being a female in rock music and trying to do my own thing and in a male-dominated genre.